Alright, hi, this is Sky with TheEndStep.com showing you a standard daily on Magic Online. I'm joined with my buddy Tim Smith.
Hello.
And we're going to be playing Junk Aristocrats. We're going to have a deck tech for you in between this round, but the daily just fired, so we're going to jump right into round one. Might be a little bit of downtime, just you never know how the opponents go, starting the rounds on time. Never a strong suit on Magic Online.
Alright, this hand is awful.
Yeah.
This hand is real bad.
Periodically you'll get these real bad hands. So this is a snap mall. Nothing really to talk about. One lander's self-explanatory. This hand's
fine.
Yeah.
I don't love it, but it's not awful. We have lands and spells.
Yeah, especially for this deck going into an unknown opponent, this is probably better than any 5 I could pick for going into a blank slate.
Alright, so he's probably on black-green.
Which is a fairly good matchup for this deck.
We have the most important card in the matchup, which is Obsidat.
Yeah, and we're drawing the lands to cast him. So here, basically, just either the shocks works. There's no actual necessity to sequencing those.
In this, like
with this land base, with a more selective land base, it matters more. But
I mean, and especially against the black green deck, like when you're playing against mono red, there's like you probably want to shock so that way you don't kill, so that way you can kill their noble on one. But
yeah, and we're rewarded. Get a nice voice down. Nothing else to do this turn, so it kind of saved us having a couple blank turns into his Mutavault, but he has a little bit of a slow start.
What if he's on mono black?
That'd be interesting. I mean, they don't really.
Like
he could have corrupt and things like that, but I feel like if he's not playing green black, he's at such a disadvantage.
I mean, I agree, but he literally just went swamp Mutavault.
Yeah, but the green black deck does that too. He might be stuck. I was surprised not to see swamp sign in blood because that's the normal start from the black green deck. Oh, there it is.
Black green. Called off the snap swamp in the beginning.
I mean, there's like 2 decks that play basic swamps, and you don't see that much Jund. Alright, so
pass?
He just passes. We have a couple options here. There's like 2 really pertinent lines. We have land, Lingering Souls, which I don't love against this deck right now, especially with they play 4 of Mutilate or 3 of Mutilate. We also can attack. If he animates Mutavault, we can slip it, Stone Rain him, and still keep our voice.
Which I like. I think we should just attack, test the waters.
Exactly. I don't think we play our land yet because there's no benefit. Because if we end up slipping, we can just drop the shock and tapped and get a little bit of tempo back for when we cast Demon into Obsidat, hopefully. I'm going to assume he's just going to take it. Putrefying here seems extra bad.
That seems awful.
I'm trying to think of what instance they run besides
I'm trying to think
removal.
of what 7 he...
are we going for the blowout? I think we're going for the blowout here because if he slips us, we still get the token and trade off his land.
And we get another token. Like
this seems nothing but upside for us. So yeah, we're just gonna snap off this slip. This seems very precarious given the situation that we're equal on cards before the slip, and now we get to take the land advantage back. Seems.
I just don't understand.
That line seemed risky.
7 he kept. Like he kept 7 guards and has had no plays for the first 3 turns of the game.
I'm guessing there's a Mutilate in there. That's about the only explanation. But we get to play a Desecration Demon and just eat any hate he has.
He only has 1 swamp, which makes me think the Mutilate plan is really bad.
Yeah, because we're obviously not going to play out Lingering Souls till he shows it to us.
Okay,
so we've drawn the land for Obsidat next turn. I'm thinking we just run out Voice again. If he wants to make that same trade, I'm perfectly fine to slowing his development while we have the most important card.
There's no way he makes this trade. Like, he's had literal 0 actions. Like, he had no 3-drop last turn. Like, he doesn't have another one this turn. Like,
yeah, he learned his lesson. Yeah, I think we just drop Demon. I want to get the Putrefies out of his hand as quickly as possible, because Obsidat, like Tim said earlier, is the most important card in this matchup. Yay, clicks on Moto. Sorry if my mouse is loud, by the way. Testing out this audio for the first time.
Sam Black's mouse is always super loud.
It's true. Oh, is he Putrefying on our turn? That's...
Oh my god, Value Town.
I don't understand this play. Like, why would you... Unless he has an amazing 4-drop, like he's going to cast his own Demon, there's no reason not to just untap Putrefy.
Like,
You're just giving us extra value.
He gave us, like, a voice token.
And if he doesn't do anything...
Okay, so he's probably Mutilate? Is that what's happening?
that's not even that good because we still get the token.
Yeah.
And now I'm not afraid of Mutilate. I'm just gonna. I think we even just goes.
I think we'd probably just Soren.
Soren's okay. I like Lingering Souls flashback to hit for 5. Because then he has to have another Mutilate, and we're still backed up by Soren. But actually, Soren and Obsidian are the two most important cards in this matchup, so it's very tough to see.
I feel like this game is just about locked up. Like, he's going to need Thragtusk into Disciple into all the value.
Yeah, and I think even then we're just way ahead on advantage here. I think, let's see, sequencing-wise, if we draw a land, Flashback Souls, Soren, next turn would be very good, but that makes us just casting Souls this turn, which isn't very good.
Yeah, I mean, like, I feel actually no. Because if we just play if we play Flashback Souls, and then next turn if he doesn't kill them, we can just Soren Emblem
Kill
12 you. Yeah.
Well, it'd be lethal given he's taking 5 plus the bonus damage.
I like this line.
Yeah. Plus the only thing that blows us out is the second Mutilate, which then honestly we get to play Soren into an empty board. I wanted to speed tap, but it's not letting me. And jerks. I mean, the writing seems to be on the wall. He's on 4 cards. He was sacrificing lands. I'm going to guess he's not holding It wouldn't make sense to be sacrificing lands when you're trying to ramp out a Thragtusk that quickly.
I'm confused as to what 7 cards he kept.
He also could have just flooded. That would be another reason to try and ship the Mutilate or the Mutavault. Since he hasn't actually missed a land drop, he's just sacrificed a land. So I think he may have been a little land heavy with the Mutilate to try and save him, but
Voice of Resurgence is so good.
Yeah, this matchup is very much based on the idea of Voice getting us value, which is interesting given that it's not a very, very potent card against green-black. It just does enough every time. Plus, bad play can't really hurt too much.
All right.
Oh, Guildgate intapped into another Mutilate.
That's
sure.
fine.
Like we said, we bashed for 5.
Yeah.
Now, do we Soren in?
Soren or we Obstat? I
I
feel
like
getting Obstats online is probably just better.
I agree. Also, it means if he doesn't cast a creature, he either sacrifices his land or takes 5 next turn. Because there aren't many creatures in this deck that really can trade profitably with Obsidat. The other big issue with playing Soren here is if he goes Lifebane Zombie, we actually lose Obsidat.
Yeah,
which is an actual concern against this deck. And we're 100% exiling.
Not close.
Yeah.
So he just kept probably double or triple Mutilate.
Yeah, I would double Mutilate some lands probably, hoping to hit a Sign in Blood to really get the engine going. But missing Sign in Blood and having your what is your actual 5th land?
Lifebane us? No.
No, going for the Tusk. I'm gonna guess. No.
It's either gonna be Tusk or Desecration Demon.
It's pretty likely. I mean, Demon's really bad against us because we just soar and make a dude sack it on his turn every turn. And,
oh, yeah.
I mean, and then he has to keep up Mutavault. I think it's a Tusk. Yeah, it's a Tusk.
Tusk. Which is really unfortunate. Tusk matches up pretty well against Obsidat, but oh well. We have inevitability.
It's true. Plus Soren is very potent against Tusk. Verils was a very good draw.
That card is awesome.
I still think we lead with Soren here.
Yeah, I agree. No.
Are we worried about the Lifebane Zombie? Because that's the only reason I could see playing Verils, but I really like getting Soren online.
I honestly, he has to rip Lifebane, because if he had Lifebane, he probably would have just jammed it on 3.
That's true. I also like playing Soren because then next turn we make a dude, play Verils, scavenge Voice onto it, and have a sack outlet for Verils specifically. Which is always very strong. Putting counters on Verils is a pretty easy way to get a free win. Alright, so making a dude and just blinking out. Nothing special. We're playing the long game in this one. The black-green deck doesn't really have too much we're worried about as far as late game goes.
Their high-end is Thragtusk.
Yeah, they're high-end.
Thragtusk and Desecration Demon.
Whereas, we have Obsidat, we have Verils, we have a lot of synergies. We also haven't drawn a Blood Artist yet, which would have been fantastic a little earlier.
Oh my god, Blood Artist would just put this game away.
Tragic Slip, kill Soren. Okay. That's unfortunate, but I'm a lot happier if he's going to attack Soren. We get to attack with Obsidat, either eat his Mutavault, or a Putrefy, which is not entirely unlikely. And then we get to just jam a Varels with a voice counters on it. Oh, is he just playing another dude? This looks like Life Bane Zombie. Ah, Demon. That's... Alright, so Slip was probably one of the things we least wanted to see out of him.
Let's not draw land. Let's do that.
Now that you said it. Interestingly, we can actually shock ourselves, play Varels, scavenge Desecration Demon onto Obsidat, and attack. Putting him to 1 if he chooses not to block, which case we have Exile kill. Yeah. Or if he does choose to block, we've just killed the Desecration Demon for free.
Yeah.
We're also at 24, so there's no real downside to just getting a huge threat on the board with Varels himself and making Obsidat obscene.
I really like he's... Yeah, no. The play with Desecration Demon is definitely it. Like, he's tapped out. He has to... Like, he actually just has to block unless he has another Tusk. And even if he does have another Tusk, we're still winning a long game. Like, we have... I mean, like, he has Demon and Tusk, but I like our position.
Me too. Plus, 11ing you out of nowhere seems very strong to me.
Can we just sack our Varels, attack for 11, and blink?
The problem there is if he Thragtusk, we're in a much
Live
worse
life
position.
On the edge?
I'm trying to think. He has 2 cards in hand. I don't think he has another Tusk in hand, but I'm worried about him top decking. I think this is the line that wins us the game, most likely, because we don't want him really drawing that many cards. But the problem then is we're taking 12 on the crackback, going to 12. We could even take up to 14 with Mutavault. And he has to have Tusk to kill us.
He can't attack with Mutavault. If he attacks with Mutavault, he won't have enough Tusk.
That's true. So, yeah. I think this line is not...
Living it on the edge.
It is a little on the edge, but this deck sometimes you just gotta force it.
Just go for it. Like,
this is one of those times where
he probably would have jammed another Tusk if he had it instead of Demon.
That's true. Demon is not actually that good against us because, like I said, we usually have a string of things. So we just attack for 11, put him on the dead if he doesn't draw a Tusk plan. If he does draw a Tusk, we're in pretty bad shape, but
oh well.
He has 2 cards in hand and 1 draw step. I don't put him on Tusk based on his line.
And our board position. Like, our board is way better than his.
He could just jam it here on us, but I'm going to go on a limb and say that... oh!
Has it?
Nope, he has. Snap. Oh, Disciple was an option we didn't think about. Discipling away Disciple going to 8. Desecration Demon going to 8. Not that great.
Alright, so we're going to take 7.
No, just 5. I don't think he's leaving this on defense in case we have removal. Because, oh, he's just leaving everything back. That's a little defensive.
That's scary. He has 8 cards now.
Yeah, Disciple was not something really considered, but it was the same effect as Thragtusk in that it put us in a bad spot.
That was a mediocre draw.
In this situation, it's not that great. I mean, I think we're just on the past blink plan. He was too scared to attack us last turn. We're 1 Lingering Souls away from just ending him. So,
I mean, like, we have to respect. Like, he probably has another Thragtusk. So he's gonna go up to 11. We're gonna take 7.
7, possibly 9. But I think we're 1 Lingering Souls away from just ending this game because he'll either have to mutilate, which won't be enough to kill our Obsidat, obviously because he'll be exiled as well, and basically sacrificing his board for it. So Lingering Souls would probably be our best top deck here. Yeah, if he ships with the team, he's no longer afraid. He's holding Tusk. That or just another Disciple to Mondo value us out here.
Oh god, that would be so good.
Another demon. Nope, another tusk.
Yeah.
Alright, as expected. He'll go to 9 after blink. We go to 23. We get another draw. Trigger, enter, draw. Magic Online. Sometimes just a little slower than you want it to be, given being used to paper magic. It's a creature.
That was fine.
It's not the worst. It trades with Thragtusk, given that we have Gavany up still. But yeah, for the most part here, it's just a very unexciting draw. The problem with decks like this is it's very synergistic. So sometimes
Should
when
we
you...
attack?
I don't think so. Trading with Tusk here just doesn't seem very profitable.
We don't trade with Tusk. We Gavany now.
I still think... I don't really like that line this turn. He also could just put Tusk and Mutavault in front, and then we're still just trading with Tusk. We're eating two things, but the Mutavault's irrelevant, so we're basically trading with Tusk. So he needs another one. Liliana is probably a worst case scenario, given that we're on the one creature block plan. So we're taking 14 possible. Like I said, we're one Lingering Souls away from just winning this game, but unfortunately, it's looking more and more out of reach. I don't think there's anything we could really do to play around it. Once he discipled, we were...
Like, even if we had kept Varels in...
We're still very dead to him just discipling into this
Like,
this
if we
hand.
kept Varels in, and we cracked in for... Like, we kept Skid on the scavenge plan, he actually doesn't even block. He goes to 1... Attacks in with... He gets an attack in with Demon. So, like...
I mean, now I think we just have to try and get there because we're on air. He's on 5 cards. We have to try and bait him to just block with the Thragtusk and not realize we're going to Gavany. That's about our best line here. He's probably going to, just double block. Or just chump. That seems odd. He might have a slip, but that's about the only reason to just chump here.
Yep.
Or he's just trying to maximize damage.
Just trying to end the game as quickly as possible.
Yeah, he has a slip. So, I think that's game. Alright, moving on to game 2. You'll get to see the deck here. Our game 2 and 3 are pretty good against them. We have some sweet board cards. We get to eat their Thragtusks, which has a very good habit of just winning the game. Definitely bringing in Putrefies and Lifebane Zombies. Bringing in our Appetites and our Duresses, mostly because they bring in Cursive Death's Hold, and we have to hit that every time.
Really bad for us.
It's also why we bring in Golgari Charms. Also, Appetite hits basically every one of their threats, so we get to make them very threat light, and Duress hits their important spells.
Getting rid of their Thragtusks and their Desecration Demons is insane. Alright, so we're cutting... we're snap cutting these Varels because those guys are awful because of Putrefy.
Yep, they usually have Putrefy, and even when they don't, Varels is just a very mediocre card in this matchup. They have Scavenging Ooze, so usually he doesn't have much to scavenge for. Usually we take out the Blood Artists, though they do have some merit. Most times they're easy to play around and can just be 1-for-1 removaled. Garruk Relentless also comes out. He can't actually fight anything relevant, and we're kind of just going for a bit more of the long game. So these are our sides in, so everyone knows over there. And the rest of the cuts are kind of just like touch-ups here. Like, we don't usually keep Abrupt Decay in because his threats are all bigger than 3, and our slips kill his Lifebane Zombie, which is his only non-4 or higher threat. Liliana doesn't matter. He should always take out Liliana against us. We have too many creatures.
Yeah, Liliana's just awful. Liliana's really bad. Desecration Demon's like even pretty bad, but like they have to keep it in because of their threat density is so low.
Usually we take out like a Traveler and maybe a Scavenging Ooze or just 2 Travelers.
I'm just taking out 2 Travelers. I like.
Yeah, Scavenging Ooze is okay in this matchup. We end up usually having more green than them, but even when we don't, just constricting their mana is usually good enough, and he's a relevant threat. So here we are post board. Let's jam game 2 here.
Let's not mulligan. Let's do that.
Yes. Also worth remembering, that was a mulligan to 6, and that extra card may have been very relevant.
Oh well.
So definitely going to be on the play here. And
Let us keep it. Snap it off. Snap it off.
Snap mulligan there. And
this hand is pretty good. This hand's actually very good.
Yeah, for a mull to 6, we have voice plus protection for our cartel. We can cast everything on time.
We need to rip a land for souls, but
we have some decent spells here.
This hand is really good. Cartel Aristocrats, awesome.
Yeah, especially against them with a voice in play. If we get to play Lingering Souls, Cartel will almost never die except to mutilate. Swamp, always fun. The other good thing about voice in this matchup, that's a little bit weird, is, like I said earlier, their only real removal is instant speed, and they usually fall into the trap of trying to do it on our turn. Voice really turns off like their slips and their putrefies when they need them. Because we just get to keep Cartel Aristocrat around forever, or tempt them into giving us an extra creature that's going to just pretty much kill them. I feel like he's waiting on Swamp, Sign in Blood, discard. Nope, just Swamp. That's not the worst for us. Didn't get there on the land, so we just jammed the Cartel. We're still not in a bad position. If we draw a land, we're going to kill his first 2 threats pretty reliably. We have Traveler, which is really good with Cartel. Even if we don't draw a land, we're going to have double sack outlets, 2 double sack outlets for Cartel, which is a ton of protection against this deck. Alright, found his green source.
What a luck. What a luck sack.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with maybe Life Pain's up nothing. So he's holding up Putrefy for our turn again.
That's awesome.
I mean, he seems like he's just on the I'll get there eventually plan with tusks everywhere. So
which is really bad for us.
Ripping a land here would be great. Land into Lifebane Zombie would be pretty good. Usually, like with 3 Lifebane Zombies out.
Okay,
so he figured that out. We're just gonna sack voice here because next turn we get to.
If we draw a land to get to Lingering Souls him.
That'd be pretty good, but just protecting our Cartel Aristocrat is pretty much the main priority at this point. This is also kind of better for us, giving us more damage. So we're just going to give Pro Green. It's irrelevant what color we pick since he's tapped out. If he had mana up, we'd probably pick Pro Black, but he just slipped in response anyway. He learned from his mistake, though, giving us an extra voice token, unfortunately.
I hate when our opponents learn from their mistakes.
Alright, not a bad rip.
That is really good.
So we get to drop Traveler, smash for 5, and Duress beforehand, see what we're working against. Curse is the automatic first against pretty much any situation. But let's see what we're working with.
Ugh, he has actually a million cards.
Double Mutilate, which is actually pretty bad for us. No land, by the way. Worth noting, he does not have his 4th land. So if he misses and we draw a land, we might just have him dead here. Tusk, Lifebane, which we knew he probably had. Because he let us cast our Doom Traveler, he actually just missed.
Probably take the Underworld connections. Like, the games are going to go long, they're going to get grindy. Especially with us missing lands, I don't want to give him extra opportunities.
That's true. Also, it's
either that or a Mutilate.
I mean, Mutilate is really bad for us, but in this situation, like, now that we know about Mutilate, it's a very easy card to play around. And taking one of them, in this matchup, Underworld is a very important card. I'd rather fight 2 Mutilates than an Underworld connection. So, we're going to snag that, drop that from our little list here, and bash for 5. So he's going to go to 13. If we get to untap with a land, he's going to take 5, 7, 8, dropping him to 5. At that point, even a Mutilate's not very good because we just get to, well, he gets to Mutilate, but we're still hitting him for 1 with the Doom Traveler Spirit token. And we have Putrefies for his creatures. So we're hoping on no land, brick 1 time maybe? Because everything else you can do is just cast a Lifebane Zombie and look sad. Otherwise...
Oh, he would feel so bad about himself.
Well, he's not snap playing the land, but... Oh, yep, he's just passing. So, probably drew a Putrefy, or some other piece of removal.
How rude.
What a jerk. That'd be pretty leveling if he putrefied our tried to putrefy Cartel, get us to sack Traveler, and then Oh, he's just dropping a life bane. He's gonna be disappointed.
The old post-combat lifebane zombie.
I think he was considering when he might want to use removal if that's what he drew, but he's gonna be a little sad at what he sees.
He's so sad.
Alright, land. Got there. Alright, so we're 100% shocking ourselves for this. So, interesting situation here is that we can sacrifice a spirit token to give this pro black and get in for extra damage, or we can sacrifice the Doom Traveler, miss 1 point of damage, but keep these two at their same power and toughness and get through for 2 guaranteed. I like that better, even though we know he has a Mutilate. We're not flashing back this Lingering Souls under any circumstances. We're going to force him to use the second Mutilate on this Souls.
Yeah,
so
he has to draw a land and cast his Mutilate. Otherwise, he's just going to be, like, done.
Exactly. So the main reason to not sacrifice one of the Fresh Spirits, even though it possibly loses a point of damage here, is to guarantee the fact that the Elemental will stay a 4/4. So that or a 5/5, pardon. So we can try and push through more damage. We really just want to try and push through damage and hope he misses his land at this point.
End the game as quickly as possible.
Especially on a mull like this, where we know his hand is pretty stacked. He sees it as well. He's just trying to stop as much damage as possible. A Guildgate here would be awesome. That'd be the only land we want to see from him. Because yes, Snap called it. So let's do the math here. We know. What do we know from his hand? He has 5 cards in hand, and we know 4. Possibilities: he has a removal spell, and we 100% know he's mutilating next turn. Not a question. So this is 7, 8, 9. This is 10 damage right here, which means Lingering Souls is lethal unless he were to putrefy or elemental. We put him on removal earlier, so I think we cast Cartel Aristocrat.
Force him to blow
it out.
Because then he's just stuck with Mutilate, Thragtusk, Demon.
Yes. And if he doesn't have Putrefy, he's just dead. Or Slip? Yeah, or Slip. Slip is the only other one. Flashing Back Souls plays around Slip, but I don't think he's on Slip at this point, honestly. I think he would have...
Slip isn't even that good. Like,
against us.
We have a million guys.
That's true. He's letting us attack. He might have it. He might just be trying to get us to prove that we're going to do it. A lot of the times on Magic Online, they won't have it. They're just going to force you to try and do it, to try and time you out, since we're pretty even on clock here. Yeah, it looks like he's... Oh, do we have it?
Nope.
We have it. Victim of Night. That's a spicy card. So we know the rest of the cards in his hand, so we're just going to have that happen. He's going to take 5, go to 6.
He's going to play Mutilate.
Yep, and him having the removal there was a little bad for us, just in the sense that he's now going to basically get to Mutilate for the next 2 turns, and we're not really going to put enough pressure onto him to do much here. Yep. Just unfortunate that he did on that one draw step of that we had noted that we thought he'd remove. He did. Land's not the worst. Pretty much just have to force it with Lingering Souls here.
Yep.
If he tries to play Demon, we just get to Putrefy him, which he knows about. So we're not that worried about it. Really, the only reasonable thing I could put him on is just trying to mutilate again. Otherwise, he knows about the Putrefy's in hand, and he would go to 4, which seems very dangerous against a deck that's shown you Obsidat and quite a few other things. So yeah, he's just going for the mutilate here, it looks like. Ooh.
He is going to be so sad.
He knows the 2 cards in our hand. They haven't changed.
They haven't changed.
So now he's going to 4. Unless he drops a Guildgate, that's the only reason I could see this play making sense, is that he's unable to cast Tusk this turn, but no land? That's... Alright, so we could have... this is a very interesting line by him.
I'm confused.
It makes me think he's not going to play Mutilate, which puts him dead to Obsidat off the top, or Gavany off the top, which is one of our win conditions in a grind. We know every card in his hand but one. Tusk, Demon, Mutilate. Mutilate here seems awkward given that he's just committed a guy to the board. I don't think he feels pressured, which is very awkward given the actual nature of this board state. We're not going to kill that Lifebane zombie.
No, God no.
We want him to commit a demon to the board and just have it get putrefied. Especially because as long as Lifebane's on the board, he's very unlikely to mutilate. So here comes Demon.
Here comes Mutilate.
Mutilate. Interesting that he committed the Lifebane when he knew what was in our hand.
So we're flooding out, which that happens way too often for my liking with this deck. We're super unlucky people.
That's true. This deck does flood
This guy likes to
periodically.
punch babies in his spare time. It gives us really bad karma when we play Moto.
That's true. I mean, Demon's just getting putrefied here, and we're pretty much just on the hope to draw something before the things we know in his hand to actually work. So we know about Tusk and Mutilate. No, we only know about Tusk now. So he has 3 mystery cards.
None of which are lands.
Worries me a little bit. Obsidat would be absolutely insane. Lifebane Zombie's pretty
That
sweet
card's
against
pretty
his
good.
against his Thrag Tusk that we know about. Let's see what else is in that hand now. Pretty good rip off the top. That's why we play 4 of them. Ooh, those Disciples look real bad right now.
They look really bad.
So we're 100% taking a Tusk.
It's the only thing we can take.
Yep. So now he's in an interesting situation. Desecrate. He can't cast Disciple of Bolus without pretty much spewing value here. If he draws the land, Thragtusk is 100% the play. Didn't draw the land, so he's got to cast Demon. So we put him to 1 and just hope to draw something because we can't let Demon sit around because of the Disciple. So
Yeah,
as
we
long
saw how good that was last game. It literally pulled him back from the brink.
exactly. So
God, he has so many black cards in his graveyard. I just noticed that.
yeah, he's pretty much drawn mono black. So we whiffed on anything here. Literally any spell pretty much seals the deal. Now we're still in the hope he doesn't draw land.
Yeah, we have not drawn a spell for a while.
Yeah.
That's so it's so.
Well, we did draw the
We drew the zombie, but
yeah. But yeah, we've played 2 Mulda 6s pretty hard to the fence. If he goes land Thragtusk, he goes to 6. We can
And then
hit
he
him to
goes to
3. Obsidat would be a really good rip because then we'd have him dead.
God, Obstat. I just want to always slam Obstat. That card is so good.
That's true. Also, so people know, we're playing out our lands because a lot of times if we draw like a Gavany, being able to Gavany and cast another spell, especially with a low curve, is super important. So it's weird to just dump the lands, but it's kind of a necessity in this deck. He's saying, come on, top deck.
But he's not even dead. Like
He casts
can
Desecration Demon. He's just passing.
Okay, so he's got it.
He has to have removal here, or otherwise this play makes absolutely no
Like,
sense.
could have just snap played out a Disciple. Like, he has Slip or Putrefy.
Yep, drew the slip, and we're still on the flood.
Always has it.
Yeah, I mean, he had enough draw
Oh.
steps. So he has Disciple, Tusk, and a mystery card that's not a land. To be fair, we've drawn lands every time he hasn't drawn a land, so this game might have been different if he had jammed an early Tusk. Ooze is pretty good.
So good right now.
Yeah, I mean, if we draw Obsidat, he's dead 100% right now, which would be lovely.
One time.
Also, I'd love to draw just our 3rd Putrefy, or not that.
Or Isolated Chapel. Isolated
Isolate-
Chapel is also the play.
That was not the ideal, because now he gets to jam Thragtusk if he draws a land, or just Disciple away, gain 3. Pretty sure we're in a bad spot, just on flooding. Like, there's nothing we could have really done to get that last couple points of damage. He drew the land, so we're getting tusked. I mean, we drew pretty awkwardly here. He also drew pretty well when he needed to, but that's life.
Always has removal.
Always has it. Every time.
Every time we look at his hand, next card, snap removal spell.
Desecration Demon would be pretty good here, at least as far as, like, dealing with something. Isolate Chapel.
Isolated Chapel, still the play.
Yeah, sometimes this
Hang
deck
on,
just
hang on.
floods.
Do we win if we just get all 4? Is that how this game works?
Well, we have to get all 4 of every land.
Oh,
We're pretty far away.
we're so far away, and
I don't think taking 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 a turn is really gonna.
12? Yeah, we're dead.
Yep. Let's see if he sees this. He did not see this line of his own 4 creatures kill us into an empty hand. He's just going for disciple value. Or he drew another Tusk.
Dude, it's okay. Once we draw our next Isolate Trap, we win.
Snap on the spot.
One trap.
Ah, boo. We don't even get to take anything. So we're just dead here. We flooded. It happens. Yeah, it's life. We're just going to take this chance since we didn't have time to do it before to just show you the deck. You got a glimpse of it during sideboarding, but here it is. Let's see, sort it out for you. So we got our removal package in the main, pretty much just Tragic Slip. Garrick kind of works as a removal as well, but that's about it.
Also, the Singleton Lifebane zombie is awesome.
It's been doing so much work for us. It used to be in the board. We don't have the fourth voice, to be completely honest, so we cut it for the Lifebane zombie.
You don't need it. That card's bad.
Yeah. Abrupt Decay actually is the other piece of removal. We moved to the main because we were having some problems with Reckoners and other cute low drops.
And then it's pretty much just your standard Aristocrats build. 4 Doom Travelers, 4 Blood Artists, 4 Cartels. Interesting, we have 2 Desecration Demons in our main.
Originally, the lists weren't really playing any real high 4 drops or 5 drops besides like Obzat and Sorin. We saw it was at one of the recent SUGs, they put demons into the list and it did very well. They've proved very good for us. We had 3, we cut it to 2 because a lot of decks right now have just sacrificable guys that they don't care about. So it's been working very well for us, but it does have its downsides. As far as like land base goes, the double Gavany is the only unexpected thing. No basics. Gavany's sweet. It's always overperformed. I almost want a 3rd. We're already on 24 lands. I'd almost want to cut one because we almost never have a problem hitting 4. And Obsidat's kind of just like, we'll get to it eventually. It doesn't have to be on time.
And for those of you wondering what our plan is against Burning Earth, the answer to that question is either dodge it, duress it, Appetite for Brains, or Golgari Charm it.
Yep, which is exactly where the board comes in.
But primarily we're on the dodge it plan.
Yeah.
That is the best way to beat Burning Earth.
It's true. We also have Blood Artists, which in that matchup, sometimes we can just sack enough dudes to not die and then kill them with Lingering Souls in the air. They have a hard time getting around Artists in that matchup. Blood Baron's kind of a one-of. We were trying it in the mirror. It's amazing in the mirror and amazing in decks. Against decks like Black-White.
If you jam Blood Baron in the mirror, you actually can't lose.
Yeah, but unfortunately he's kind of been underperforming most of the time. Decay, the second one for any aggro deck. Same with Barter. We actually haven't run into much Hexproof online, but we barter most every aggro deck that comes up.
Geists are like, you don't see many Geists on there.
That's true. Fiendslayer Paladin's really good against the red decks. Mono Red's a big thing online, so Fiendslayer's been good.
That card's insane.
The extra zombies are always insane for us. Putrefies for their actual threats. Mostly it just reads, if you see Olivia, kill her. Charm, we mostly use for enchantment removal. Against the blue-white decks, it can be Wrath or D-Sphere removal. That's about it. Appetite's really good against Jund, and almost any deck right now is just kind of mid-range big stuff. Same with Duress. It's most decks are running something good to Duress.
Usually when Appetite comes in, Duress comes in. Like, they're just very good together. They're very good at just picking apart your opponent's hand. Black decks, when they side in their Curse of Death's Hold, both of them hit it because I actually don't think we can beat that card.
Yeah, that is the you lose on the spot card.
The stones, as the kids say.
We have 6 disruption spells on the board, which really help, plus the one in the main. So we tend to try and pick apart most of our opponent's hands early. So with that, we'll see you for round 2.